I need to vent, and I need advice because I'm spiraling. This is a long one, so bear with me. I'm 28, female, living on my own for the past 3 years, and I thought I'd finally gotten some distance from my family's drama. Spoiler, I was wrong. My parents have officially dragged me into a mess I had nothing to do with, and I'm so pissed and hurt I can barely think straight. I'll try to keep this coherent, but I'm typing this at 2 a.m. after another sleepless night, so forgive me if I ramble. Background, because context matters. I grew up in a small town in Ohio, the kind where everyone knows your business and your mom's cousin's dog. My family's always been complicated. My parents are in their late 50s, married for 30 years, but it's not exactly a Hallmark movie. My dad's a retired mechanic who spends his days tinkering in the garage and avoiding anything emotional. My mom's a part-time receptionist who's obsessed with keeping up appearances. Think church bake sales and PTA meetings, even though my brother and I are grown. They're not bad people, but they've got this blind spot when it comes to my younger brother, Jake, 25. Jake's a lot. He's charming, funny, and the kind of guy who can talk his way out of anything. Growing up, he was always getting into trouble, skipping school, sneaking out, borrowing money from mom's purse. But my parents always bailed him out. Always. If he got caught with weed, they'd lecture him but pay his fines. If he crashed his car, they'd buy him a new one, used but still. Meanwhile, I was the good kid. Straight A's, part-time jobs, moved out at 23 with no help from them because I wanted to prove I could do it. I'm not perfect, but I've worked hard to build a stable life. I'm a graphic designer now, freelancing mostly, with a small apartment in Columbus and a decent savings account. I thought I was finally free of the family chaos. Nope. The mess starts. About 6 months ago, I started getting weird calls from numbers I didn't recognize. They'd leave voicemails saying stuff like, "This is Pinnacle Collections. We're trying to reach Jacob, last name. Please call us back at..." At first, I ignored them. Wrong number, right? I figured Jake gave out a fake number or something. He's done that before. But the calls kept coming, 3-4 times a week. Then I started getting letters addressed to Jake at my apartment. I was freaked out but assumed it was a mix-up. I texted Jake like, "Yo, why are debt collectors sending stuff to my place?" He swore he didn't know and said he'd handle it. Classic Jake, vague and useless. I called one of the agencies to clear things up, thinking I'd just tell them they had the wrong person. Big mistake. The guy on the phone was rude, saying Jake owed $12,000 on a car loan and $8,000 in credit card debt, and they'd been told I was responsible for it. I was like, "Excuse me? I don't even live with him." The guy said my name and address were listed as Jake's primary contact, and that I'd been co-signing his payments. I nearly dropped my phone. I've never co-signed anything in my life. I told them that, but they didn't care. They just kept saying, "Ma'am, we have your information on file." I hung up, shaking. The plot thickens. I called my mom immediately because I figured Jake must have used my info without me knowing. She answered all cheerful, like nothing was wrong, and I laid into her. "Why are debt collectors calling me about Jake's crap?" She got quiet, then said, "Oh, honey, it's probably a mistake. You know how these companies are." I wasn't buying it. I pressed her, and after some hemming and hawing, she admitted. She and Dad gave the collectors my number and address. I thought I misheard her. I was like, "You did what?" She said Jake was in trouble, and they didn't want the collectors harassing him at their house, so they gave them my info instead. I was floored. I asked why they didn't just tell the truth, that Jake doesn't live with me, and she said, "Well, we didn't want them to think he's dodging them." I lost it. I yelled, "So you threw me under the bus?" She started crying, saying they were just trying to protect Jake, and he's going through a lot because he lost his job again, and his girlfriend broke up with him. I was so mad I could barely speak. I hung up and called Jake. He picked up, acting all casual like, "Hey sis, what's good?" I tore into him, asking why he let mom and dad pin his debt on me. He swore he didn't know they did that and said he'd fix it. But when I asked how he racked up $20,000 in debt, he got cagey and said it was complicated. I'm not an idiot. I know he's been living beyond his means, buying dumb stuff like a $500 vape collection and taking trips he can't afford. I told him to give the collectors his real info and leave me out of it. He promised he would, but I didn't trust him. It gets worse. The calls didn't stop. If anything, they got worse. I started getting texts from shady numbers like, "Pay up or we'll take legal action." One letter even threatened to garnish my wages. My wages? I'm a freelancer. I don't even have wages to garnish. I was paranoid, checking my credit score every day. It's fine for now, thank God. I stopped answering my phone unless I knew the number. I even started getting anxiety every time I checked my mail, expecting another collection notice. My friends noticed I was on edge, but I was too embarrassed to tell them my family was screwing me over like this. I went to my parents' house last month to confront them in person. I figured they'd take it more seriously if I showed up. Big mistake. My mom started sobbing 5 minutes into the conversation, saying I was attacking them and that they were just trying to help Jake. My dad, who usually stays out of drama, got mad and said I was being selfish for not helping my brother. I was like, helping him by letting him ruin my life? They kept saying Jake's sensitive and that I'm stronger and can handle the collectors better. I couldn't believe it. They were acting like I'm some superhero who can just deal with their mess while Jake gets a free pass to screw up again. I laid out everything, the calls, the letters, the stress. I told them it's affecting my mental health, my work, everything. I'm losing clients because I'm too distracted to meet deadlines. I asked them point blank why they thought it was okay to lie and say I was covering Jake's debts. My mom admitted they told the collectors I was helping Jake out financially because they thought it'd buy him time. I was speechless. They didn't even ask me. They just assumed I'd be fine with it because I'm the responsible one. I told them they needed to fix it, call the collectors, give them Jake's real info, and stop dragging me into this. They promised they would, but I could tell they were just saying it to shut me up. Where I'm at now. It's been a month since that conversation, and nothing's changed. The calls are still coming, though I've blocked most of the numbers. I got another letter yesterday, this one saying they're escalating the case. I called the agency again, explained for the millionth time that I'm not responsive. I don't even know how to do that. I've been Googling like crazy, and I think I need to send a debt validation letter or something, but I'm terrified of screwing it up and making things worse. My credit score is still okay, but I'm paranoid it's going to tank if this keeps up. I've even thought about changing my phone number, but that's a nightmare with work and everything. I haven't talked to my parents since the confrontation. Jake texted me last week saying he's sorry and that he's working on it. But I don't believe him. He's never taken responsibility for anything. I'm so angry at my parents for putting me in this position, but I also feel guilty because they're my family, and I know they're struggling too. My mom keeps leaving voicemails, crying and saying she misses me, but I can't bring myself to call her back. I feel betrayed, like they chose Jake over me. Again. What I need help with. 1. How do I get these debt collectors off my back? Has anyone dealt with this? I've read about the Fair Debt Collection Practices Act, but I'm overwhelmed and don't know where to start. 2. Should I confront my parents again, or just cut contact for a while? I love them, but I'm so hurt I can't even think about talking to them without getting mad. 3. How do I deal with Jake? I want to believe he didn't know what our parents did, but he's not exactly trustworthy. 4. Am I being too harsh? I feel like the bad guy for being so angry, but I don't know how else to feel. I'm sorry this is so long. I'm just exhausted. I feel like I'm drowning in my family's mess, and I don't know how to get out. If you've been through something like this, please tell me what you did. I need to know I'm not alone in this. Thanks for reading, Reddit. I'm going to try to sleep now, but I'll check back in the morning. TLDR. My parents gave debt collectors my phone number and address, lied that I was covering my brother's $20,000 debt, and now I'm getting harassed nonstop. They say they were protecting him, but I feel betrayed and overwhelmed. How do I fix this? And how do I deal with my family?